Disclaimer: the audio in this video may sound a bit different because I'm experimenting with some microphone settings. I was re-listening to the last episode and I thought it sounded a little too bassy, a little muddy, so I'm gonna play around with it. Let me know what you think. With all the excitement at the end of the last episode, I completely forgot to get the quest point cape from the wise old man. You'll have to forgive me, it's not every day that you get an item worth 15 bill just by getting 425 quest points. And of course we can't forget to do the emote in a bunch of places thing. It's such an easy effect to produce, but it's just so satisfying when it comes out right. As long as you keep the camera consistent between shots, there's really no work to be done except syncing up the frames. This was the first achievement cape I ever got. I want to say it was back in 2008-ish after the release of Rocking Out. The 69 smithing requirement was quite the doozy. Had to sell my whip to afford it. Sad times. So for you OSRS players, you would know the quest point cape as providing a very convenient teleport to a fairy ring. It drops you just outside the Legends Guild. But in Runescape 3, the Legends cape covers that niche. Instead, the quest point cape gives you an extra 30 seconds in the Tears of Guthix minigame. Easy runecrafting XP. Now it's time to return to Slayer. Meg gave us a Slayer XP lamp last video, ruining my plans. Yeah, I could have destroyed the lamp, but that feels wrong, you know? We get our cape from Kuradel, and then perform the emote in a bunch of places, who'd have guessed? This cape has great utility and for more than just Slayer. It can be used to teleport to any Slayer Master as much as you want. It makes getting to Shiloh Village really easy, since I don't have the Karamja Gloves 3 yet. I could get them, but Getting to the Ancient Cavern is a breeze, and we can get to Zenaris without a fairy ring. It's surprising how useful it ends up being for clue scrolls, actually. What was a shame was when Vanica was moved from the Edgeville dungeon to just near the Wilderness Lever. Having a teleport down there was useful for that one clue step near the Moss Giants, but I think there's a resource dungeon there, so the Dungeoneering cape might have always been better. I don't know. Now, you might be thinking that we're done with Slayer. 99 is the end, right? Ah, well, you idiot. Sorry. Imagine if I just turned into a rage tuber and I stopped being this sarcastic doofus that I usually am. Anyway, Slayer goes to 120, and at level 99, we unlock Pokeslayer. It's impossible to enter the Sunken Pyramid in Menaphos without 99 Slayer. Only Master Slayers may enter. Within the pyramid waits a spirit named Physa, a Slayer Master of old, and one of the 8 men and women in the Order of Slayer Masters. After Tumakin exploded and chaos fell upon the Caridian lands, a disguised Amasket formed the Order so that they would learn how to slay the various monsters plaguing them. It was Cadillax, Physa's husband, who discovered Amasket was consuming the souls of the monsters the Order slew. The Order planned to flee the desert to teach the world their skills, but Cadillax was killed by Amasket and bound to the Polnivneach well. Likewise, Physa was killed and bound to the Sunken Pyramid. Physa gives us some Pokeballs, I mean Ushabtis, a familiar term if you've recently watched the Moon Knight series, which are used to contain souls of various monsters. She also gives us a Pokedex, Slayer Codex, that catalogs all the monsters whose souls we've captured and returned to the pyramid. There's a chance to capture a monster's soul when it's killed. Then you bring the soul-filled Ushabti to the chest here, deposit it, get some Slayer XP, and fill that slot in your codex. That's not the only thing you can do with these souls, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Goblin, Skeleton, Zombie, Nightmare, Crab Pet, Cave Bug. Monsters with higher Slayer requirements have lower chances of being captured, lower requirements have higher chances. Being on a Slayer task for that monster or having 120 Slayer gives you a bit of a boost to the chance as well, so for higher level monsters it's wise to wait till you're on a task for them rather than camping them for hours. A lot of the higher level monsters have better drop rates on task anyway, so it's not really a problem. Spider, Chicken, Bat, Minotaur, Wolf, Ghost, Bear, Hill Giant, Ice Warrior, Moss Giant, Fire Giant, Troll, Ogre, Hobgoblin, Wild Dog. Getting to the pyramid can be a bit annoying though. You have to take the boat in the southwestern portion of Menaphos to get there. If you put your home in Menaphos, it's not so bad since the portal's right near the boat, but I prefer to have my home on Mazcab since I don't want to spend the techie on the Mazcab teleport codex, and also the host portal on Mazcab is right near the fast travel ranger guy. But if you notice, the codex has a teleport option. Unfortunately, you cannot use it until you've placed 50 souls in the pyramid soul chest. The good news is that many of the monsters in the Slayer Codex are really easy to capture capture, but we only start with 25 Ushabtis. We'd need another 25 and they cost 20 Slayer points each. Since we're soul hunting anyway, we might as well farm points with the Jacqueline method. The Jacqueline method is simple. Get 9 tasks from Jackie, most of which can be completed in the catacombs just southeast of her, then get the 10th task from Laniakea since she gives the most points. Every 10th task gives 5 times the amount of points, every 50th gives 15 times. So you get 9 points from Jackie and 330 from Laniakea. You can speed this up even more if you put all but the monsters in the Lumbridge Catacombs on your block list and use NPC contact to get new tasks from Jacqueline. You wouldn't even need to leave the catacombs. But I don't mind having to kill cows, goblins, and chickens every now and then, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Ghoul, green dragon, blue dragon, red dragon, black dragon, lesser demon, greater demon, black demon, hellhound, shadow warrior, crawling hand, banshee, cave crawler, rock slug, cockatrice, pyre fiend, basilisk. I love this phase of soul hunting. There's something super satisfying about filling up the slots in this book. It's probably the same reason why I had so much fun playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's basically, here's a list of things to catalog, go do it. Awesome. My obsessive compulsions love this, gotta catch them all. You see, it's not OCD because it's not a disorder. I may be compelled to do these things obsessively, but it's not harmful, so it's not a problem. Just let me catch my Pokemon. Now, you may be wondering what's the point? Why capture the souls of monsters in the first place? Pride? Glory? Sexual gratification? While those are valid reasons, that's not why Jagex put this content in the game. With an Ushabti containing a soul, you can take it to one of the rooms in the pyramid with these glowing circles. By placing the soul in the circle, you have your very own pet monster you can kill as much as you want. The update was touted as becoming a Slayer Master, and like Kuradel and Morvran, by being a Slayer Master, you have your own dungeon full of beasties to slaughter. There are a few meta setups depending on what you're looking to do. For instance, a pod, a player-owned dungeon, with 5 spiritual warriors is used for AFK gold farming. For mains, it's something like 5 to 6 mil per hour, but 4 mil comes from Alk, so it's not too bad for Ironman. You need to catch the 5 souls though, or use someone else's pod. There's also shadow creatures if you want to farm elite clues, and a common thing for Ironman to do is gather up 4 or 5 Capsarii to make Ascension key farming a lot easier. The drop rate for the keys is about 1 in 300, and the drop rate for the signet to make the crossbow is 1 in 50, so even if you hit the exact drop rate, you're looking at 15,000 Capsarii kills per signet. That's 90,000 kills for a single Ascension crossbow. That might be something we try for. That could be an interesting set of videos to make. Content. That's content. One soul I'd like to have is a Ripper Demon, for a few reasons. First of all, the abandoned mine they're in is way too cramped. I feel claustrophobic there. Secondly, I'm always worried I'm going to aggro too many of them and die because that's exactly what happens to me every few trips. Third, it's kind of inconvenient to get there. I can only kill about 10 to 20 before my inventory fills up with binding contracts, so I have to bank multiple times. Placing one in the first room just to the right of the dungeon entrance would be very convenient, especially with the Slayer Codex teleport. Just use magic notepaper, I hear you say. Yes, John, I heard you, but I cannot since I'm an Ironman, and Ironmen cannot trade. But what about enchanted notepaper? Sweet, sweet, foolish John. I don't have the blueprint for that unlocked yet because it costs 200,000 Dungeoneering tokens. That will be one of the first blueprints I buy, however, when I get to the Dungeoneering grind, so don't you worry your pretty little head. Basically, having a single Ripper Demon all by itself is much more manageable for my smooth gray matter. This is also an option for Tormented Demons. They're aggressive, so it's easier to fight them if there's only one in the room. A common tactic is to use Legacy Combat, Silverlight in the main hand, a ranged weapon in the offhand, usually a Shadow Glaive, and a familiar that attacks using magic. That way it cycles through protection prayers frequently enough that you're pretty much always damaging it. And if we do ever try going for even one Ascension crossbow, we'll also need to camp Tormented Demons for the Dragon crossbow limbs. But this is all talk about the future. Right now, we need to get ourselves a total of 50 souls. Hotspots for easy to kill creatures are the Lumbridge Catacombs, the Stronghold of Security, and the Fremennik Slayer Cave. Lots of Slayer creatures with low or no Slayer requirement. There's also the Slayer Tower, but after spending an hour trying to get an Aberrant Spectre Soul, I figured I'd come back to the upper floors when I actually had a task. I'm looking to get the easiest souls right now. Let me get this out of the way. OBS has a replay buffer. So at any moment I can press save replay and it'll save the last 30 seconds of footage as a recording. This way I don't have to record for hours and hours and I won't miss the footage of getting a soul captured. And yet, still, I managed to miss a few. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal anyway. I'm just pointing it out right now so no one can come at me and say, oh, well, you actually did catch 50 souls. It was only 42. You're playing on a private server. Ugh. Here's something interesting. You know how you need to wield a mirror shield to kill cockatrices and basilisks? Annoying, right? Shields suck for DPS. But did you know that sunglasses work as well? I guess that makes sense. I'm sure Perseus would have appreciated a pair of sunglasses when he was fighting Medusa. You can get a pair from the marketplace for 100 oddments, and you can get oddments on an Ironman from those weekly reward chests you get by completing enough daily challenges. I don't really like it. I feel like cosmetic things shouldn't have any real gameplay effects, but here we are. It's there. You might as well use it. Also, if you're dreading using a tier 55 weapon against Turoths, dread no longer. You can use a Staff of Light or an Abyssal Wand and Orb for Slayer Dart, or use Royal or Ascension Bolts. I went with Royal Bolts since I have thousands doing nothing. Because I'm killing a bunch of low-level monsters, it would be stupid not to have the Scavenging 4 perk on my gear. Let me show you why Scav 4 is so good. I was killing werewolves in Canifis for quite some time, super unlucky with getting a soul, but 4 rumbling components. I couldn't ask for a better proc. You need 2 rumbling components to make an alchemical Hydrix, and the only way of getting them is by disassembling some pretty high-level gear. The easiest source of them is through the Techie Reward Shop. The gloves and boots of any style disassemble into 5 rumbling components. But that means having to spend Techie on not another ability codex. So this is great. The only thing standing between us and an essence of finality is the fortune components. Perhaps a huge clue grind is in store. Put that Orlando Smith hat to good use.
Calphite, Bronze Dragon, Earth Warrior, Otherworldly Being, Shade, Anku.
And here's 50 souls. Now we can teleport here whenever we want so we can deposit more souls. Filling out the codex is a trim requirement, by the way. I don't think I'll ever trim this account, or any account really, but there is another benefit to completing at least a good portion of it. Every 20 souls you contribute, you get a 1% Slayer XP boost when wearing the Slayer helmet, or if you have it on your Anachronia Slayer stand. I'd like to get at least 80 souls for a 4% XP boost. After that, the remaining monsters take a bit longer to capture their souls, and trying without being on a Slayer task might prove difficult, so I think 80 is a good middle ground. The first task we get from Laniakea after capturing 50 souls is a Strikeworm's Cluster task. I can kill any Strikeworm I want, but I want to kill Ice Strikeworms. However, I haven't gotten a Fire Cape yet. I know, right? I'm combat level 137, I don't have a Fire Cape. You need one to kill Ice Strikeworms. Well, I mean, technically you don't, but it costs like 2,000 Slayer points otherwise, so why would you? No one would, who would do that? Just get the Fire Cape. You also do double damage if you're wearing a Fire Cape, so let's get the Fire Cape. I didn't get a Strikeworm soul.
Cyclops, Mithril Dragon, Werewolf, Beaver Spider, Killerwatt, Wall Beast, Molinist, Mogre, Elf, Chaos Dwarf, Desert Lizard, Crocodile, Harpy Bug Swarm.
This is my new favorite task. Abyssal Savages. Aggression Potion, Dragon Rider Lance, and Abyssal Armor Spikes. You kill these guys so fast, and they drop enough of their flesh to replace the armor spikes you use. It's amazing. They drop a lot of crystal keys too, which is nice. Oh, awesome! My dragon's bred a royal dragon. If you didn't know, to get a royal dragon, the 2 parents must have the shock, frost, and poisonous breath traits. They don't both need all 3, just all 3 must be present across the 2 parents. Any black dragons they spawn have a chance to be shiny, so it helps if both parents are black dragons as well. That was the last player-owned farm shiny I needed. As soon as Adamantite gives me a goddamn crystal skill Champa, I'll have finished the breeding log. Then we can move on to the Ranch Out of Time, and finish that breeding log.
Jungle Horror, Sea Snake, Young, Gorak, Suka, Cave Horror, Pterodon, Brine Rat, Scabarite.
And that's 80. 80 souls and a 4% XP boost. Probably not the most efficient use of my time, but a fun use of my time. And in the end, that's all that really matters. I'll obviously continue bringing new shop teas to Slayer tasks in the future, but I'm happy with where we got today. I think the time spent actively hunting the next 20 souls wouldn't be worth the 1% experience boost when I could just gradually get those souls while training Slayer. I got a Ripper soul! Great! Whoa, don't kill me, don't. Okay, let's get out of here. Alright, let's drop him right here, and I hope he likes his new home. Next time, I've never been in this situation. I have no more footage after. This is the last bit of footage I have. I've finally caught up, and now I'm, I gotta figure out what the hell I'm doing. It's gonna be a surprise for both of us, won't it? Thanks for watching. Take care.